Hey everybody, welcome to our Sunday vinyl video. My name is Russ, that is Lauren, and we are sharing some records over the last month or so, and the next coming month that we found at a record fair here in Jacksonville. And we could not have bought records that were more different from each other when we were at this record fair. And the one that we're going to talk about today is an album that I've never heard anything off of other than the lead single, and I think it's the first. Is it the first song on the album? It's
Sure
first,
is.
okay, okay. Um, and this is one of those ones that the I'm not familiar with the artist at all. Lauren is very familiar with the artist, and um, I feel like people who are familiar with Randy Newman know like the thing that most of us don't like there's reasons, like when we were listening to this, you were going on about how, well, not going on, but you were talking about how you really like his complex chord structures
Hmm.
and everything. And I think a lot of us that like, there's a certain generation that knows him as the Toy Story guy
Sure.
or just the short people guy,
Hmm.
right? And admittedly, short people is not my style of song, neither is the Toy Story song either. Like, it's just not my style of song. Also, I don't love LA or the song. So, you know what I mean?
Totally.
So, but we've said it on the channel in the past. I've got, like, Lauren did a whole video on this channel called How I Learned to Love Eminem, because prior to me getting her to listen to Eminem, she never would have given more of his stuff a shot than what she's ever heard on the radio. And this same thing here, like, I've never had a reason to be like, oh, let me hear more of Randy Newman.
Yeah.
So we found this, or Lauren found this at a record show, and we brought it home and had a chance to listen to it. One thing about it, we always talk about packaging and whatnot, and I've talked on the channel before about how, like, with 70s and 80s records, when records were mass produced, it's kind of hard to come across something special.
Hmm.
But with this record, one thing that I like about it, and it might even turn some people off, is the entire back cover is almost what the insert should be,
Okay.
with the
Yeah.
lyrics
Yeah.
all over it, which I like. To me, that's a guy, you got to have a certain confidence in your songwriting to be like, this is what I have to say, and that's more important than another picture of me
Hmm.
or just the track. You know what I'm
Totally.
saying? Like, when I turned it over, I almost thought, I'm like, did someone tape the inner on the back of this? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to really look at it. And then the other thing is just, I think the album cover of this should be more iconic than it is.
Okay.
You know, I think it's a really cool shot,
Uh-huh.
and it's not, like, I'd never even seen the cover before you picked it up, and I think it's a really cool looking shot.
Yeah, it is.
And for him being closely associated with LA, and the I mean, the picture of it doesn't really fit the title of the record, but it just is like a guy being like, here's all this noise happening back here, and I'm presenting music to you. At least that's what the photograph says to me.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I totally see it that way. Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing. I love what you said about, I know we're going to get to our talking points here in a second, but I love what you said about Randy Newman being proud of his lyrics, right? Because for me, that is more than 50% of the draw
Sure.
to anything that he does, or still does. Like, his lyrics are so funny and smart, and just kind of picking at little things in the world.
Zing.
And I just that for me is what Randy Newman brings to the table. He'll see something in the world that irks him, or just something that he noticed, and he'll turn it on its head and turn it into something completely different.
At the risk of doing a little bit more of an analysis of the record, I will say this: if you are not a Randy Newman fan, I had told Lauren, I feel like at least the first 2 or 3 songs on this are like, if you've ever heard Short People and you're like, I do not want to hear more music that sounds like that, the first 3 songs on this record are that. And in the interest of full disclosure, when we were listening to it, I was like, oh please,
no.
please don't let the whole record be that.
Mhm.
And it's not, like, at all. Like, after those first 3 songs, the record takes, I don't want to say a sharp right turn, but like a turn.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it's like, hey, if you like that, here's 2 other songs like it, and then also here's what I meant to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. And like, I was just kind of reading some quotes and stuff for interviews that Randy Newman did around the time that this came out. And he's talking about every other song on the album. And then he goes, And then there's a song called Short People that
Mhm.
people seem to like. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's his thought.
I always think of in instances like this, I always think of when John Mayer won the Grammy for Daughters. He came up and gave like a sincere speech, and at the end he was like, I still didn't want this to be a single, but thank you. You know, like he's just like, this is not supposed to be the one that people focus on. So but anyways, so when we talk about a record like this, of course you got to talk about sound. Now this is probably the most offensive thing I'm going to say in this entire video. I thought it was very average. I didn't, and it may have been mixed and mastered this way on purpose, but let me say this, as far as like, you've heard me say a million times, you know, hey, listen into this channel, or, oh, do you hear how this is pushed out front, to be for things that I view to be an advantage on vinyl. There was nothing on this that made me think we couldn't just stream it.
Right.
Right.
I totally get that. And I guess in fairness, how do you feel generally about the production of Eagles records?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Nope.
The backing band on this is essentially the Eagles.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it.
Yeah. They're not my favorite. And one of the things I don't like about the Eagles is their production. I don't even know. I'm speaking way out of turn. I don't even know who produced the Eagles records. It might have been Glenn or Don, or I don't know. But yeah, whomever produced those, I'm not a fan of the sound of things. Like that's why one of the reasons why I love the Hell Freezes Over album so much is it's completely different and better sound, in my opinion. So that's, yeah, this is there. I feel like there's a certain cross section of stuff in the 70s. And by the way, if you're a Randy Newman fan, I'm not saying any of this to like be controversial. Like this is just an honest opinion. So if you're or an Eagles fan, or you like their production, by all means, just, you know, leave a respectful comment, and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you about it. But anyways, I feel like outside of like Zeppelin and Floyd and stuff, there was a lot of stuff in the 70s that was produced samey. Like I like a lot of Ted Nugent's material, like Free for All and of course Stranglehold and all that. And I feel like a lot of that was mixed in the same as this. Like it doesn't really like stand out. It's just there. So it could just be more of a product of the times than anything. So but when we talk about how and why we came into these records, we talked about the record show that we were at. This is another one that you picked up. I don't know if did you get from the same table? Because it was all like so many for $10 a piece or something like that. Okay.
That was this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
so this is another one that was $10. It was in great shape. Now here's the tricky part. The value for me for $10, I would say, oh yeah, okay, we'll put that in our collection. But in my opinion, again, it's not a record to me that I would say, oh, we absolutely, oh my God, oh, holy cow, we got to have that on vinyl. So I wouldn't, if you had paid over 10 for this, I would have been like, oh no, that's too much.
That's fair.
You know, but like where's your ceiling? Like, where would you have paid up to get this?
Oh, I don't think I would have paid much more than 10, 15 for it.
Okay.
So I'm right there with you on it. And I think for me, it's just, I feel like, Randy Newman is like a national treasure, right? And I needed to have something. And as a short person, I felt like this was the one to have. I mean,
no reason to live.
With no reason. Does he have better records? Yes. Does he have records with better, a better collection of songs, lyrically?
But
yes, absolutely. But this is the one.
This is the one you wanted.
This is the one I wanted,
Yeah.
and I have it, and. We were making dinner when we listened to this, and I felt like it's really good for that kind of thing too.
See, and that goes, in my opinion, that goes hand in hand with what I said about the production.
Sure.
It's a good background record, and you more than anybody know this. I'm an active listener, right? So I don't really do well with background music because I want something to be like, oh, and like in that. And so I would agree with that all day long.
Yeah.
I put it on for dinner making music all the time.
Well, you sit down with it, turn it on, and then just hold the back of the...
And read the lyrics.
And read the lyrics
and
the
that
whole
would
time.
be a different thing too. Yeah, that would be a different experience, I
Yeah.
think. So if you would please drop a like, we always say that. But again, what I referenced in the middle, the interaction is what matters to us more than anything on the channel. So if you have this record, if you totally disagree with me on the production, or if we said something about the production that you'd like to have a discussion about, please by all means drop a comment. Any respectful comments, agreeing or disagreeing, we're more than happy to engage with, and that's the type of thing that we're here for. And again, I know you hear this all the time, drop a like on the video, but it really does help. If you're in any like vinyl groups or social media or anything. If you would share our content around, that helps us out a lot. Once again, that's Lauren. My name is Russ. We'll have a new vinyl video every single Sunday. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.